Hello, hello, hello. So we're doing things a little different today. Welcome back to my channel today. Today's Friday and I'm streaming live today to bring you the episode. We're just trying this new stuff where we get to do things a little different. Just trying to see how it's supposed to go. Just something impromptu. I'm like, no, we're not going to pre-record and air it. We're just going to go live on Friday night to discuss our topic for today at Dr. OJ Speaks TV. So this evening's episode, I'm going to be pretty chill and relaxed with you guys, just talking about it's Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. It's the end of the month. I know we didn't see anything about it throughout the month for good intents and purposes, because we wanted to make sure that we still stay true to our original messaging. But it's always very important for us to talk about those social issues that impact us, impact our families, especially our youth. So this evening, I'm going to be talking about teen dating violence as regards to parents and how we allow our kids, or not how. Let me rephrase. So this is live TV. I love live TV because there's no chance for error. There's no margin of error. You just got to keep rolling with it. So tonight I'm talking about Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month and just talking about the dating age. What is the right age for dating? Like, I don't even know. I have boys, so it's a little bit different for me as a boy mom. But for those of you who have like female kids or just children generally, what is the appropriate age for kids to start dating? Because when we talk about teen dating violence and teen dating violence awareness, we need to be mindful of the things that we permit as parents. I know that when I was growing up, who born your father? You say you're dating. At what age? What do you even know by dating? Like, I don't even understand how this new generation, they said now they're in generation. Now we've gone from, we were millennials, right? We have the generation XYZ, and now they've gone to, I think they're now in like generation Alpha. I don't know. I can't keep up with the trends, but it's a new world that we're living in. And kids these days are supposedly dating earlier than usual. So I want to ask you guys this, my audience, what is the appropriate allowance date and the age when you are allowed to start dating? What's that age? Because I don't know. So, and I say I don't know, not because I'm being ignorant, but I'm just saying I don't know because I don't want to create a standard that someone is going to quote me and say, well, Dr. O said this age is appropriate for dating. I just know that one thing's for sure. When you talk about legal age, right? As of the age of 17, you're still a minor. You're still considered what? A minor. So if you're still a minor at 17, so should you be dating at anything less than 17 if you're still a minor at 17? So minor means people who are not able to participate in legal things, like anything that has to do with adult legal stuff like paying bills. Well, minor pay, I don't know. But anyway, you're still considered a minor if you are age 17. So if legally you're still considered a minor, should you be dating? So this is a question for parents and children alike. So when we address social issues like teen dating violence, then we also need to address the dating age limits. As in parents who, as parents, we talk about protecting our kids and safeguarding them and equipping them with tools that allows them to identify situations that might be unsafe for them. But let me ask this, are we really keeping them safe, or are we actually exposing them to the things that hurts them? Are we actually the ones that are putting them in a situation where they are not actually protected? Because if we're talking about like putting them in a safe place, yet we are allowing them to date at an age where they are not psychologically, mentally, emotionally prepped to handle those things. So what are we really doing? Okay, so tonight's episode is very, very impromptu and just sort of not our general type of production, but I felt like it's always good for us to show up when we say we're going to show up. So that's what tonight's episode is. I'm just going to talk about appropriate age, dating age. So that's a question I'm posing to you guys as parents. If we say that kids are supposed to be protected by us, which we really should be protecting them. And we're trying to raise awareness to teen dating violence, which is a very, very serious issue. I read out some statistics a few days ago on my podcast where I was talking about numbers. And one of those numbers that still sticks out, or that is still sticking out to me, is 1.5 million. 1.5 million high school, junior and high school students have been victims of violence from an intimate partner. Those are very, very scary numbers, guys. And 50% of young girls who are sexually or domestically abused usually do not share that information with anyone. So these kids are suffering in silence. Yet, a lot of parents say these days kids are allowed to go on dates when they're as young as like 13, 14, 15, 16. Yet we say they are minors. So categorically, they're supposed to be minors, right? Based on their ID. So why would we allow them to participate in adult things if they are minors? That's a question that we all need to try to answer. If these kids are supposedly minors, why are they participating in adult activity? That is a question I need you to think about. So if we're truly going to do what we need to do as a society, protecting our kids against the incidents of not only domestic abuse, sexual abuse, and why are we easily exposing them to teen dating? Because it is from their exposure to teen dating that they become victims of teen dating violence. So we need to be very careful as a society, the things that we permit that actually sets the stage and sets the table for these kids to be endangered and for them to be exposed to the things that we're now fighting really, really hard to pull them back from. So that's just my thought. I don't really know. I mean, you don't really have to agree with me. This is not an agreement or disagreement discussion, but this is just a reality check. Reality check from me to you to say, parents, let us be more responsible in our duties as custodians. Let us be more responsible in our duties as adults, as parents. Let us be more responsible in making sure that we protect these children all around. And that means we are not their friends. So when kids come to us with ridiculous demands and things that we know fully well that they are not ready to participate in, we should be able to say capital letter N-O, no. There's nothing wrong with telling a child no. And you don't just tell them no and shut them down and keep it moving. You tell them no and you explain to them why. It is your responsibility to be able to allow a child to fully understand your decision as a parent to either permit or not permit them to do certain things. It's no longer the world where you can tell a child, because I said so. That no longer flies. It's always a thing of, let us sit down and talk about it. Let me allow you to understand where I'm coming from. You know, as parents, we are not called to be dictators or to be authoritative. Yeah, we have the authority, but to dictate the terms of engagement for our children. We are supposed to be able to guide them in love, but also be very firm in our stand, so that those kids can fully have an understanding. Because understand this, guys, for however young a child is, that child from when it's born and becomes a fully formed human being, it sees they have their own identity. They have their own identity. They have their own identity and they're able to stand and should stand on their own. So because they have their own identity and they have their own personality, we should be able to treat them as individuals and accord them the respect, enough respect to be able to say, okay, come, let me explain this to you. And do you guys know that children who are actually dealt with in that manner end up being well adjusted more than children who have others backed at them? So think about it. Let me just explain this. Let me back up. Let me back up a little bit. 2 parents, 2 households, 2 set of kids. Kid A is in a family or in a situation where the parents say, do this, you must do it, and that is all there is. And that kid is wondering, why do I have to do all of these things? And there's no explanation, there's no mentoring, there's no modeling, there's no teaching, there's no conversations that are being had. And that kid just is expected to follow those orders like a robot. That's kid A. Kid B, in a household where parents have a relationship with a kid. Any situation that has to be taken as a decision turns into a teachable moment. It becomes a moment where the parent takes the time to mentor, to teach, to actually try to get you to understand the process, makes them a part of the decision-making process. Because when you're able to fully clarify your position to children, honestly, kids can be sometimes, they can be quite unreasonable because they might not fully understand what you're saying, no matter how well you try to explain it. But at least after a certain period of time, they would begin to see in hindsight what it is that you were trying to explain to them. Not to say it's going to protect them all the way through, because kids are going to be kids. They're still going to go behind your back and try to make certain things, try to find out for themselves. Like they say, curiosity does what? It will not kill our children. But curiosity is a part of growing up. They have their imagination. They have their own expectations. So they're pretty curious about life. But that curiosity can be satisfied when we provide them adequate education and explanation within the home. So kid A has more tendencies to be rebellious, to go against the grain, and to try to find out things for themselves, which ends up costing them more. So those kinds of kids end up learning from experience. And sometimes those lessons can be very harsh. Those lessons can cause irreparable damage to those children, not just physical damage, but mental, emotional, the kind of damage that it takes years. And some people, unfortunately, never recover from. And kid B will be more well-adjusted. Yes, kid B will end up making certain mistakes out of their own sheer curiosity, but the fact of life is those kids are better and well-adjusted in society because they have a clearer understanding. At least they have a foundational understanding and reasoning why certain choices are being made on their behalf. You have to let your children understand that these choices, I am helping you make the choices now because you're not fully equipped. You're not yet capable of making those choices yourself. So I have to stand in the position to help you make those decisions. So that's just my thought. I don't know. I might be wrong. I might be right. But what do I know? But hey, it's always open to discussion, right? Because dating violence is a thing and it's not going anywhere soon except we begin to actively engage ourselves as a society to provide solutions through education and mentoring. Allowing our youth to better understand the dangers of engaging in not so favorable relationships, or getting into these situations earlier than expected, you know? So, I mean, as a parent, I ask you this again. What is the suitable age for a child to start dating? I say, as long as you still fall into the government category status of a minor, then you're not ready to date nobody. You are still a minor. So as long as you're a minor in my household, you're a minority, not a minority, but you know what I mean. So that means you do minor things. And then once you get into the adulthood, then you will be at least a little bit better prepared to start making the choices that you can live with and you can be fully responsible for yourself. That's just my opinion. I don't know what you think about this, but everyone, like they say, is entitled to their own opinion. But I feel like it's better for us to begin to dialogue as a society and bring these conversations to the forefront and educate ourselves and help ourselves to be better equipped to help our next generation have a better fighting chance at life and avoid certain pitfalls. Of course, they're still going to make their mistakes. Their mistakes are theirs to make. Remember that. Even as a parent, no matter how amazing you are, no matter how much of an educator you are, no matter how much you support and love those kids, they still have their mistakes to make. And those mistakes, they're going to make them. But I would prefer for my children to make mistakes that are not, that do not leave a lasting damage to their psyche. The kind of errors that do not leave a lasting damage to them physically, the kind of mistakes whereby they're able to bounce back from, but learn valuable lessons from. That's my only hope. But I guess that's the only hope that most parents have. But we can begin to do better as a society by checking some of these excesses It's excessive for you to say a 13, 14, 12-year-old is having a boyfriend, girlfriend, they're dating. No. It's excessive. I'm sorry. Those are just excessive things. They just do not make any moral sense whatsoever. As far as I'm concerned, they do not make any moral sense. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Those things do not make any moral sense because these kids are considered minors, and we should understand there's certain things that minors are not permitted to partake in, such as having intimate relationships. It's just a fact. At least that's what I think. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. But guys, remember this on a more serious note. February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, guys. It's the end of February, but I feel like every day of the year is Teen Dating Violence Awareness. We need to always invest in the education of our youth to help them do better. So let's educate, empower, and elevate them to live beyond these things that society puts on them that they don't even know. These children did not ask to come to this world, but we have brought them into this world. And fortunately or unfortunately, they are growing up in a time where there is so much exposure. There is so much media exposure. There is so much exposure for them everywhere. Kids are too exposed these days, but at least let's do our part to protect and cover them some so that they have a fighting chance. That's what I think. God help us as parents. God help everybody. All right, y'all, that's it from me today. My name is Dr. Igosla Jinodi. Don't forget, though, we just jumped into the conversation today because today is not your everyday normal type of episode. So today is just coming on live and talking about this issue, this topic, and just bringing it to you hot. Just the way I feel it, I speak it, and it's all good, right? It's all good in the hood. All right, guys, don't forget, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to this channel. Turn your notifications on because we're dropping it hot every Friday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Today's episode, was brought to you by HD Pro Global Beauty and what? Beauty and Career Institute and Body Med Spa. hdproglobal.com. That is the website. Check it out for all of your med spa services or starting your own med spa, owning a franchise, getting the education and the training. They do it all. So make sure you check them out. They sponsor today's episode, and you can see their backdrop behind me. The med spa professor for the med spa concierge staring all beautifully right behind me there. Look at it. Check out her smile. Look at the skin. Look at everything. Okay. Oh, I played too much. Okay. All right. You see that? Those are our sponsors, hdproglobal.com. Guys, don't forget, turn your notification on. Comment on this video. This live feed is so lit, y'all. I love it. The fact that there's no filter and I'm kind of stuttering through and all the bloopers are in here. Y'all just get it all, catch it and own it and love it and enjoy it. But guys, listen, today's episode, I've thoroughly enjoyed just spending a few minutes with you and sharing this topic. As serious as it is, I try to make a little bit light of it, but I also do not want you to lose the essence of the message. Let us continue to educate our youth, protect them, and give them a fighting chance for a better tomorrow. I love you guys. Have a wonderful night and see you back here next week, Friday. It's Dr. OJ, the med spa professor for Dr. OJ Speaks TV. Bye, guys. Love you.